Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now we are joined by Righteous Force, Neil, Refracted Curvature, 10th Man, Arwin, Brian's Logic, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Hey,
Hey, good morning.
Blood is pumping today, boys.
hey, great video yesterday. I was laughing so hard in that little short you released with the Science Asylum.
It's outrageous, some of the stuff that we hear from the mainstream, right? So obviously if you're dealing with an anti-flat earther, you're going to get the anti-globe trying to combat a flat earth overcome to a globe claim, which won't sit in line with the globe. Now already, just in describing this, probably half the audience is confused, and this isn't even a follow-on from something we discussed in the pre-show, this is fresh, right? Well, dealing with a normie, and by normie I mean a normal globe claimant, for the most part, they stick to what is actually the globe claim, like geometric horizons and fourth dimensional space-time bending, sky vacuums, all that sort of stuff. Well, that's refreshing because it means we can actually attack the original claim. But occasionally, like yesterday, they get it wrong. Now, it transpires that there's even globe believers that have addressed the guy we addressed yesterday for how wrong he was about his assertions in space-time. But nevertheless, we pulled it apart for not only its incorrect assertions of space-time, but the incorrect assertions of how space-time doesn't work, which the guy was talking about flying squirrels with fourth-dimensional space-time bending geodesics plotted in two-dimensional graphs with squirrels only falling because of geodesics in space-time. It was absurd. But nevertheless, there was a lot of fun to be had in taking apart incorrect assertions from actual globe believers, just as much as it's frustrating to take them apart from fundy chanters talking through you on a debate. But there we go. As I say, join the show if you want to interrupt any of these response videos that we've been talking at. If you feel that we're being unreasonable, and obviously they're not getting their fair chance to say anything in response because we've got a play and a pause button, then you're welcome to join. There's a link below. Also, if you're enjoying the show, please share it, as this has taken a turn that everybody's enjoying according to all the comments, which is wonderful, but it would be nice if lots more people were watching, of course. So please share the show, as I suggest at the beginning of every intro. Meanwhile, we're going to do housekeeping today. So any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge, that's a horizon formerly known as the curve of the Earth. On Discord, we want to hear your input today. Plus, I want to level you all up.
Well,
None.
well,
If there was curvature at the horizon, we wouldn't have anything to talk about here.
Exactly. If the horizon was Earth curve, we wouldn't be flat earthers, would we? Good answer.
No.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety.
you'll need half of that.
Yeah.
I used to say I hated the subject, but now...
No evidence of a radius of 3959. That's right.
I got that.
No
No
evidence
evidence of
of-
R then. What about any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth with an R value of 3959 debunked by the Black Swan?
Let's go Discord.
At molten iron core,
Heroes
anyone?
and F12s, but you'll need half of that.
You will. Putting you at the centre of an equatorial plane that's supposed to be a molten iron core when you're doing any navigation. Any evidence that you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline?
None whatsoever. I mean, it's just it's a pathetic question, really, because it's an impossibility.
Right, any evidence that level runs equidistant to the centre of Earth?
Is anybody claiming that?
Yeah. There's even
And why did they claim that?
I think there's even a Merriam-Webster definition that includes it that way, like 5th or 6th definition down. So yeah.
It doesn't include it that way.
Say again, Brian.
It doesn't actually mention the centre of the Earth in Merriam-Webster.
What is it
Or
exactly?
Webster.
I can't remember. It's such a long time. Go ahead.
It says, I think it's a water, water. Oh, my head is not working straight now. Something conforms to all the curved parts of the Earth or something like that. It doesn't mention the centre.
Water
Level
level
is-
conforms to the curvature
yeah.
of Earth.
Not even exactly that. It's a little bit vague, actually, the way it's it.
Fair enough. The Merriam-Webster definition might be not explicit, but there are anti-flat earthers that explicitly need to claim that, because assertions that levels are level debunk the claim that Earth's a sphere, because they need level to be curved. So, yes, just go to Bev Try Thinking channel if you want to hear people making that assertion. As a result, it's even got a little strapline that they use called bendizontal, which is their sort of automatic response when those claims come from those anti-flat earthers. So when you ask, is there anybody making that claim? Well, right here, right now, no. But you can certainly see him making it on Bev's channel. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Gravity?
You'd need
No,
to
there's
observe
no-
it. First of all, you'd need to observe it as a natural phenomena, and then carry out multiple tests and to prove that hypothesis.
Oh well, it isn't. There's nothing to observe. You can't observe time, and you can't observe time as a dimension. You can't observe time as a dimension bending or dilating, and furthermore, you can't observe time as a dimension to travel through. All of which is asserted in pseudo-Riemannian force space-time Einsteinian gravity. So there is no phenomena. It's just existent only in the maths.
So it's just a fantasy, then made up fantasy, basically.
Well, it's a description. It's how they would describe our world. But it doesn't mean it's physically happening in any way, shape or form. We don't have a fourth dimensional time to bend.
But people actually believe this is happening somewhere.
Sure,
Then
hence we ask for scientific evidence of it, because it doesn't happen and there is no phenomena. They use the words of science like theory and experiment to assert that it does. And it has some causal influence on our life 107 years ago. And if they're actually on the current rhetoric of Einsteinian pseudo-Riemannian force space-time bending, they claim it's an effect that we see in our observable nature. It's neither. It's a description in pseudo-Riemannian force space geometry with a dimension that isn't real. What about any single viable... Go on.
I'm just saying, so to answer the question, there's no scientific evidence of gravity then? That's the answer to that question.
No, it's often asserted in the context of science, though. As I'm sure we'll hear later, as we're going to be covering a bit more Neil deGrasse Tyson as he went on Joe Rogan. And people have been sending me these videos. So a guy from... I don't know who sent this one. Was it you, Neil?
Hey, Nathan.
Hello.
Hey, Nathan.
Yes, Gene.
Can we do a short one of TikTok first, just to get that flavor out of our mouth? Just a short one. I put a bunch of them in Planet Peterson as a user.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, just do one. They're pretty short.
Yeah, does somebody, or can somebody post it in master
It's in
bases?
the text main chat.
There's a ton of them. Which one do you want? The first one?
I don't know.
Anyone, just to get a flavor of them.
Whichever. We'll do a bit more
All right,
housekeeping
all right.
while it's being sorted out.
All right, I'll post it, and I also want to ask you something, Nathan. I want to plug a video I did yesterday when you get a chance. So not right. There's whatever you see.
Sure, you feel free. We'll just rattle our way through the last few housekeeping questions. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Well, no, that's impossible because they're merely just observations, and that's as far as them topics go. They're just observing something. They can't go any further prove it using the scientific method.
Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
No, because you're definitely going to need a container for the pressure to press upon to give you the pressure reading.
You need a pressure. You need something for the pressure to press upon, because that's what pressure is. Yes, indeed. But if there's a Western worldview that the sky is a vacuum, a vast availability of space for gas to expand into, leaving us all dead. Amazing, the religion and cult of heliocentrism. Nevertheless, any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Nope. Angular. That's it.
I often think, like, I mean, I know we spoke yesterday about they tie the distance in to fit with the so-called radius, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. We don't know what the sun is, but what does it matter how far away it is anyway? It doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think.
You can assume that the Earth has a radius of 3,959 miles, along with Venus having the same. But good luck with that. I mean, you're just going to be assuming, aren't you?
Okay, so this is Planet Peterson. Is this what you want me to look at? No, original sound, Planet Peterson. What? Is this the right channel? Is this the right video?
Yes, there should be a link to a video, and there's several of them. They're all within less than 2 minutes.
Okay. You do realise that a 2-minute video is going to take us about an entire show to take apart, right? You know that, right? Some of the videos that we've pulled apart recently, so if you look at the Dr. Becky video, because they talk so much garbage, every third or fourth word we have to stop and pull apart the nonsense that they've said. So a 3-minute video, this is going to take an eternity. You watch.
All right, before we start, can I just quickly do a plug, and then we can continue.
Okay, go on then, do your plug.
All right, I'm going to post the link in the live stream soon after, but I did a video on biblical cosmology again, and it's a series, it's part of a series, and this one is titled Between Heaven and Earth. So we're just going to look into more firmament context, among other things, and I'll just leave it at this right now. Is that okay, Nathan?
With a bit more enthusiasm on the Righteous Force YouTube channel. Dun dun dun!
That's excellent. Thank you, Nathan. And I'll post the link in the YouTube chat.
To the Righteous Force YouTube channel. Yeah, it'll be in the live stream chat. If you're watching live, go and click on that video. Subscribe today to Righteous Force. Any other things? Did we miss any housekeeping questions? Don't believe so.
Molten iron core?
Again, Arwin? You're a bit quiet, by the way.
Molten iron core?
Is that Arwin talking?
Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yeah, if you're talking to your mic, I can.
I am talking in my mic.
What did you say, Alvin?
Molten iron core.
No, we covered that.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay, are we all ready for this TikTok video? This is totally unvetted. I've no idea what the context of any of this is going to be, but we're taking it from Gene in Discord that this is going to be top quality stuff that we need to take apart. It looks like
Not top quality, but extremely popular.
Popular? How popular? I don't know how TikTok works. This is literally... Go on. How do I find out how popular it is? By popular, what do you mean?
View number.
Where's that? Doesn't say. I can't see that. I don't know how it works. It's got... I can tell you how many hearts it's got. 5,200. Anyway. No, 2,500. My numeric dyslexia getting the better of me.
Why do things fall down?
What, like hot air balloons and helium balloons and gas that's produced at ground level? Why are you asking about things that fall down when there are things that go up also? Have you decided to exclude the fact that things go up as well? That seems silly.
Answer is
They don't. Things go up as well. What, the things I just described. What about cloud?
5,200 hearts, Nathan.
The only way to make an object move is to apply a force to it. The only possible way you can change its energy is to apply a force to it. Now that could be...
To apply a force to it? That sounds like I've got to get involved as an agent. What about puddles? Are you applying a force to a puddle, or does merely the elapse of time take them away? I'm not suggesting time's causal. I'm saying that the arrow of time, entropy, would mean that given enough time, the puddle vanishes. Right?
To speed it up or slow it down, but we're generally talking about why do things go from rest to being in motion.
You started this off by saying down. So far, I've given you several examples. All of mine were going up. Yeah? Like the gas that's produced at ground level and then makes its way up, disperses into the air around you. That's not going down.
Well, he hasn't said gravity yet. So it could, he's technically right if he was talking about relative density disequilibrium force, but I bet he isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy seems like a nobody, though. Does anybody know who this guy is?
Never seen him. He
I don't know
seems
how long we're
pretty
going to
young.
spend on this,
5,200
Gene.
hearts, Nathan. 5,200 hearts, Nathan.
So what?
That means 5,200 people push agree, push love, push heart.
So what?
What about my Tyson video? I bet millions.
I was going to say, this
Many
Neil deGrasse Tyson
views.
video that we were going to cover, right? It's got
Okay.
it's on the JRE channel, and it's got 13.5 million subscribers, and it's got
How old is that?
14,000 thumbs up, which is presumably the equivalent of likes, right? So, but
That was before TikTok.
okay. So you're saying, okay? I mean, we'll stick with it. Maybe I should do a poll in the chat. What should we be covering? Should we be covering Neil deGrasse Tyson? Is your choices, right? So type 1 in the chat if you want us to cover TikTok dude, or type 2 in the chat if you want us to cover Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Let me ask you a question, Nathan. Who would you rather stumble in your show? Neil deGrasse Tyson or this retard?
Well, either would be fine.
I don't mind. I'm going by the audience. You know, I've said if there's a certain video you want us to critique, then we'll critique it. And this is that. So, you know.
Well, I kind of want to see about the new guy, at least for a bit.
Okay.
To see what he's like.
Well, let's see what the audience want, right? So far, it's mixed bag. Arwin says he wants to stick with the guy. James May says he wants to go with Neil deGrasse Tyson. YouTube wants to go with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Psych Bear wants to go with the guy that's on screen. Dave Scott wants to go with Tyson. Uncool Ben wants to stay with the guy on screen. Elvis wants to stay with the guy on screen. Titan Long wants to go with Tyson. Michael Kahn wants to go with Tyson. Skeptic936 wants to stay with the guy on screen. Unisox Femu picks 3, which wasn't an option.
Here's the third option. Neil says play Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's it.
I don't know. I'm saying
The new crowd is not checking for Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Such a mixed
bag. The new crowd
bag.
is not checking for Neil deGrasse Tyson. TikTokers are not looking for that. TikTokers are where the eyes are. That's where you need to be.
I've already looked at the numbers.
I thought you
right,
said
we've already
the
done
R
that.
is your Kundalini.
You're flogging a dead horse there, right? But based on the fact that it's such a mixed bag, multi-tom-tom, you've summed it up, 1 and 2, right? Yeah, people want to see all of it. Fine, we'll stick with the guy that's on screen because he's on screen.
Not a force. It is just a property that materials have. It's also a property that changes based on simple things like the temperature.
Okay, so no, what you're describing is entropic effects then. I don't know if Brian's going to pipe up at some point because he's invoked temperature, but we'll see how we go. I'm sure Brian will have something to say on this.
But he has, yeah, but you were so busy critiquing it, Nathan, you didn't hear when this fella said density was the cause.
Did he?
Of things going down.
Yeah,
he said density.
Oh, right. I didn't catch that. You're right. I didn't.
Yeah, so I don't know what side this guy is even on.
It sounds like he's on our side.
So when he invokes temperature, he's invoking a change in density.
Yeah, these are all entropic effects.
Now there's a buoyant force, but that's
there you go. You invoke gravity in the next sentence. So buoyancy, look it up. It's
Not
defined
really.
with gravity.
No, but buoyancy, it was well before force of gravity, and it was hijacked by people who promoted a force of gravity.
Correct.
Buoyancy is Archimedes' principle.
No, that's correct. Originally, etymologically speaking, Yes. Originally, you're just talking about Archimedes. But currently, if we're going to be semantic about it, which we are, it's defined with gravity. It's tied to it.
It can't be. Gravity is not a force.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying semantically, it is part of gravity.
But I disagree.
Yeah, you
It's
can't get-
only
you
when
know.
gravity is invoked, it becomes that part. But without
Which is
him
always-
literally saying the word, he could literally be talking about relative density.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
force.
No. Because I don't know where we're going to go with this because I have no idea what's next. But we'll see. Okay, so just so the audience is clear, there's a bit of ambiguity about whether or not this guy is actually on our side at this point because he hasn't been hyper-specific enough. I mean, we're so far away from good wizardry now. The standards are going down. I was annoyed with 10th yesterday, and I'm annoyed with you, Eugene. This is a crap standard. He's got no essence of wizardry in him. He's just talking shit.
Unless he's actually a flat earther.
He has the views. I was gonna crop this out and put this on TikTok as a rebuttal to him. That's why I was thinking you would let it play 2 minutes. It's very short, and then we take it apart. And I was gonna post this on TikTok.
We are. I'm not moaning. I'm just saying it's more frustrating because there's no skill to admire in what he's doing. Right? There's no essence of good wizardry.
Let him get in the
Nathan,
flow.
just
Let him
because-
get in the flow.
Go on, Ted.
Nathan, just because you hate squirrels, don't be annoyed at 10th.
He's not talking squirrels. Right, okay, we'll spin on a little bit.
It's not
I would like to
what
point
density is, and
There you go, you're right, Brian. Go on, John.
When he said buoyant force, he invoked a force.
Yeah, you can.
Is anyone claiming a force?
Yes, he
behind
did.
buoyancy?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. You can claim it behind it, or you can claim it to be a side effect of Newtonian gravity. Either way. But he hasn't invoked that yet.
Yeah, but I was
He
singing the
said
praises only
force.
earlier in the show about the fact that when we do these reaction videos, it's nice that we're reacting to the actual rhetoric. The current rhetoric, the Einsteinian rhetoric. Now Armin's saying, well, no, in his defense, he might be using Newtonian. Is that really...
It's nice when you let it play through, man. It's only 2 minutes.
We are. Look, just chill, Gene. Everyone, take a breath. Right, we are covering this, Gene. That's you out of the way. Arwin, I am annoyed because of the lack of wizardry and skill when it comes to, if he's going to convolute in Newtonian gravity because he's invoking a force, and now finally, John, yes, you're right. If he's going to invoke a force in a buoyant term that we're still not 100% clear he's going to tie to heliocentric gravity in either Newtonian or Einsteinian, I mean, he's just not being specific enough. I know we've only played a couple of seconds.
He's not using the word gravity, and until he does, it's kind of open. So
exactly. Frustrating. Let's listen.
And I really never hear any of them talk about buoyancy because I don't think they have any concept of it. But the buoyant force.
Who are they? Who's he responding to? What's the title of this video?
We don't know. It's a mystery. Just keep playing.
No, definitely isn't why objects fall. Hashtag flat earth. Is that the title? Oh, I'm so confused.
Force doesn't make any sense unless you have gravity.
Okay, are we all clear what he's talking about now? Which one? Which
I'm
one?
very
Damn
clear
it.
now. This, yeah.
I hoped he wouldn't shoot his foot off, but he did.
The moment he said force, he was already into it.
Okay, are we gonna?
No, it doesn't have to be. But now he invoked gravity. He even said, "Oh well, if it's a force, it would have to be gravity, something like that." So it's over.
Yeah.
It's
no,
over.
and it's not over. We're just clarifying
he's
what
an
he's
idiot.
talking about. Hold on, Brian. We're just clarifying what he's talking about. Right? Am I correct, panel? So far, he's invoking a force. He's talking about gravity. Therefore, he's talking about Newtonian mass attracting mass, force of gravity. Are we all correct in
Yes.
our assumptions of what he's talking about?
It's the only thing you can talk about as a baller.
Okay.
Einstein gravity is not something you can talk about in relation to things actually happening in the world.
Okay. Right.
What he's doing is pretty pathetic. We've dealt with it probably 1 billion times here on YouTube over the past 7-8 years. He's trying to claim that flat earthers never heard of buoyancy. Buoyancy is due to gravity. He obviously has no idea what he's talking about. He doesn't know where buoyancy comes from. He doesn't understand Archimedes' principle, where that came from. He's essentially denying Einstein and Einstein's equivalence principle. He's denying Einstein's claim of a two-way speed light calculation. He's denying all those things, and he thinks he's right because he thinks we don't know what buoyancy is. How could we
gotta
not
direct this to him.
know
What's
what
this guy's
buoyancy
name?
is? What kind of a child is this fella?
Yeah, I want to unleash some fury on him too, Brian.
Planet Peterson on TikTok has many followers.
Mr.
This
Peterson.
is not going as smoothly as we thought, guys.
What's his first name?
Planet Peterson. That is his TikTok handle. And he is also on YouTube.
Peterson. Planet Peterson. You stupid idiot. You are 107 years out of date with your mass-attracting mass force of gravity. Stupid idiot. Learn your rhetoric before you go on TikTok talking about 107-year out-of-date force of gravity. Ugh, do I have to quote some of your actual priests to you? We, on the Flat Earth side, want to debunk people who actually understand the globe claim. That would be that gravity is not a force, end quote, George Musa, or there isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. Why? Well, because gravity is the bending of a fourth-dimensional space-time. Pseudo-Riemannian force space-time geometry developed by Einstein, superseding a mass-attractive mass force 107 years ago. What kind of clown are you? Anyone else want to have a jab? Feel free.
I don't. Yeah. I know what he's doing. What he's doing is he's poisoning the well. That's what he's doing. He's on TikTok where there's younger people. He's on YouTube listening to flat earthers on YouTube. Then he's going to TikTok because he brought up density and he brought up temperature. That means he knows what he's talking about. He knows what density is. And he knows the buoyancy, that what he's claiming as a force of gravity is not an explanation in real physics, that you can explain these things with temperature and density, and that causes a movement of something up or down. He knows this, and he's trying to poison the well on TikTok. That's what he's trying to do with younger people, because TikTok's full of younger people and people who are just naive on the subject, even if they're not younger. And that's what he's at. This guy's a complete fraud.
Even on a flat Earth where gravity doesn't exist and there still are molecules and density and buoyancy is there.
Hello?
Yeah, Alwyn, I'm trying to play the video.
Okay.
What?
I'm just saying that it seems to me so far that in the video that he was trying to kind of like grease the skids, hoping to draw in people with kind of a neutral explanation, but then he kind of broke it off and injected this, force, that means gravity, and ruined it. So I don't know what he's doing, but it's not working.
This is not how you consume a TikTok video, man. You let it play. It's 2 minutes max, dude.
Excuse me. You're telling me how to consume media? How dare you?
Why on earth would the materials go down? There's absolutely no reason that the heavier material would be down. Why not in the sky? Why not?
Unfamiliar with clouds, are you? You stupid bonehead. Clouds aren't going down. Why aren't the clouds going down? They're not. They're going up. Why aren't the hot air balloons and the helium and all the other gases going down? They're not. Do you think gas goes down? You stupid idiot. This is embarrassing. Not everything goes down.
Why not to the right? Why not to the left?
Why not up? What, like gas does? Or water would do if you poured it into a bathtub? Do you think it's going up or down when it spreads out from side to side? Have you got no concept of reality?
This is
This is like the 2016 argument of relative density. Oh, why doesn't it go to that direction? I mean, this is nonsense.
Mic check.
Hey, Chocolate.
Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate. Good to have you. Did you want to add something?
No. Just top 10. See where we got somebody else on the menu, so just listening.
Alien attitude. Aristotle thought that objects want to rest on the ground.
Looks up at cloud. Releases helium balloon.
Now, in a way, resting on the ground is the lowest energy state, which is what objects are trying to achieve.
Really? Clouds are trying to rest on the ground, are they? Not in my experience. They start off life on the ground, like in a puddle, and then they make their way up. So what you're saying, then their natural resting state, do you think things are at rest? No. It seems you have no concept of entropy.
Wait,
Clearly.
you're saying they go up?
The guy doesn't understand what entropy is. Resting state. What's that?
But that is not at all what Aristotle meant. Aristotle thought that physical objects...
Second time you've divined his thoughts. Have you got a crystal ball? Did you dig him up? Where are you getting his thoughts from?
sort of like have desires. And even if density can explain why objects sort themselves out the way they do...
I mean, sort themselves out. Things are in constant flux. There's the water cycle. Do you think that just stops? It's cyclical.
It sounds like he's basically giving a disclaimer. Like, density does explain what I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to tell you another story. That's what it sounds like he's about to say.
I see. But what he means to say, but it's too stupid to recognize, is that disequilibrium could be explained with relative density, i.e. the relative density of the object to the medium.
Exactly. Because he's saying, even though density can explain, he's about to give another caveat. Watch.
It doesn't explain the fact that when an object rests on the ground...
Like a cloud, like a helium balloon, like water when it turns from liquid to steam. So is that resting on the ground? Complete clown?
It still has weight.
Yeah. And what, as it goes up, the gas that's going up, you're saying it's still got weight. Okay, we'll put that in our back pocket.
Density doesn't explain weight at all.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it absolutely does. I've explained it,
hold on.
right? As long as it's still surrounded
Describes.
by
Use
the
your words
lower
better.
density
Stop. Doesn't explain. It describes.
Yeah, weight is density over volume. See, this fella's a complete idiot.
Yeah,
that's
but as
density
long as
over
it's
volume.
still
You can't have
surrounded.
weight without density over volume. It's complete nonsense.
No, but an object will
doesn't
not
like on
push on the ground if it's surrounded by a medium that's equally dense as the object itself.
Yeah.
But if it's still
Doesn't understand
surrounded
weight.
by air, but just resting on something solid, yeah, it's still surrounded by lower density. It will still have a disequilibrium
No, good
downward,
point.
which will be pressure.
No, good point, Darwin. It's medium specific. You're right to point it out. And you're
Structural
right too,
supportive
Brian.
matter. That's why an anvil.
Hold on,
Yeah,
Darwin. Go ahead,
structural
Brian.
supportive matter. That's why an anvil can float in mercury. That's why that can happen.
But
This
yeah,
fella
same-
doesn't know what he's talking about.
that's Darwin's point. It's medium specific.
I know, I'm agreeing with him.
Oh, you seem like you were arguing about it, but you were on the same.
No,
okay, you're agreeing.
when
Yes,
he
you
was
are.
slipping in his
You are
structural
indeed in agreement.
support.
Like now, he's not allowing me to say that, so it makes it impossible to agree with him.
It just means that he's making the point before you get to make it, but you're agreeing with him.
Yeah, but the main problem is this guy doesn't understand what weight is. This fella doesn't understand how weight is calculated. He doesn't understand weight is just a calculation. He doesn't understand how it's calculated.
No, but
this fella thinks weight is
most-
given to what he thinks is a mass via a force of gravity because he's 107 years out of date and an idiot on TikTok.
Yeah, but he mostly just doesn't get density. If he says, well, density doesn't explain the weight, yes, it damn well does. I just did that.
You did it
so
again.
he just doesn't understand
He doesn't
density.
explain it. Oh, goddamn. Right, no. Explanations, right, would be within the remit of things like the scientific methods. They provide explanations. Describing things in the language of mathematics, that isn't an explanation. You keep saying it, Arwin.
But that's where he's going to go. So when he's having an issue with weight, that's because it's not weight in the real world, the thing we measure. It's M times G. His mathematical explanation of
Thank
the
you.
world.
Oh, I like it when Adam's here. I can breathe easier. Right. I'm not going to let us move on to the next part of the clip with that being said by Arwin for that very reason. I know where he's going and Adam does too. Right? We know where the reification starts. I don't have to hear what he said next. I don't have to listen to it in advance. I know what's
I
going to
know
happen
what Joe
next.
said a minute ago what he's doing.
Say again.
I said it a minute ago what he was doing.
I think you said it 2 weeks ago, easily.
And mass is given a weight by a force of gravity. That's what I'm going to say.
Indeed. Let's have another listen.
Say it's caused by air pressure, but air pressure is exerted in all directions.
Who said it was caused by air pressure? Did somebody say that?
Nobody ever?
Well, I mean, we need to have air pressure for any of this stuff to develop, but I don't remember anybody recalling that as a rebuttal to a claim of gravity when he's making an assertion that everything goes down.
It's ridiculous.
The
more air pressure, the less weight.
All four of you, all at once. Yay.
Yeah. The more air pressure, the less weight. He's just dead on wrong. Just fundamentally wrong.
Do it, Brian. Do it.
Yeah. What it is he's trying to respond to Pete. Someone's after telling him about the fact that objects weigh more in a vacuum. So consequently, if gravity was a force, then the air is basically a mass of all tiny independent particles being pulled down onto an object, giving it more weight. So if gravity was a force, then an object would have to weigh, if gravity was real and was a force, then an object would have to weigh less in a vacuum, but it doesn't. Objects weigh more in a vacuum, and objects weigh more at high altitudes, not less. That's an old wives' tale. So consequently, what this fella is doing is he's trying to, this is what I'm saying, this fella is purely a fraud that's in there to try and poison the well and confuse people. He's heard some of this stuff and he's trying to explain it away. He's trying to claim the force of gravity while also saying, well, air pressure has nothing to do with it. But at the same time, 1 second, John, at the same time, he's also, without realizing it, giving away their actual explanation for the air pressure gradient. Because their explanation for that is the force of gravity pulling it down. And their explanation for why helium balloon goes up is because the air is being pulled down, forcing the helium balloon up. So if air is not affecting the weight of the object, is not adding to the weight of the object, then that means that a force of gravity does not exist.
Yes, Brian's just summarised the whole argument, by the way. So if you were paying attention, thank you, Arwin. Arwin's just Brian's redeemed himself where Arwin was speaking through him earlier by summarising the entirety of this particular argument. So if you were paying attention, you've heard the end from Brian just now.
Well, I just want to point out that he acknowledged that air pressure is in all directions while asserting a downward vector.
Good catch.
I wonder how he.
That's what
I hadn't got on that either. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you double speaking clown. Yes, indeed, John.
Hold on, I don't think
false,
that was my point.
No, but that's false because the bottom of the 1 kilogram bag of sugar, how much air pressure is pushing that kilogram bag of sugar up when its bottom is stuck to the bottom of the scale?
Right. I don't think that even within the Newtonian gravity models actually claim that more gas causes that. No, it's the location. It's the vertical location towards presupposed center that determines the strength of the force of gravity, not how much air it surrounds. That's not even part of the heliocentric model.
Arwin, it is. That's how they explained the pressure gradient. Is that if you look at how they try and hijack buoyancy, is they say that the air is being pulled down towards the surface.
Right. And don't summarise it again. You've already done a good job. Brian, hold on, both of you. Right. No, this is where this is going. Hold on, Brian. You've already summarised it once beautifully. Oh, God.
Yeah, but
keep you two under control is like a nightmare. Right. Yeah, you summarised it once, and now you're doing it again. Beautiful. Yes. Where does this end up? Yeah, I'll now reiterate Brian's point because it's obviously not enough acknowledgement from anybody. Gas go down, go boom, boom. That's where this ends up, right? Thunderfoot Clown. Yeah, he's going to be the poster child forever when he took a bucket full of bouncy balls and poured them into a fish tank to tell us how buoyancy is explaining that the item, i.e. helium balloon, is going up. Well, because the gas around it's pulled down. No, it isn't. All gas expands in all directions to fill whatever availability of volume it has to fill. It's not being produced in the sky and being poured out. It's produced at ground level and makes its way up, getting ever thinner as it disperses, in line with entropic law. That's what gas actually does. But they need it to go down, don't they? Gas go down, go boom boom, like Thunderfoot PhD Clown said.
Yes, but that's only concerning the gas itself, not objects. No,
just one of you. Just one of you. Just one. It's not clear. No one can hear. Hello. Hello, you two. Nobody can hear anything. Just you two talking through each other. One of you at a time,
Owen
please.
is wrong.
Yeah, so let it be me. Because Brian has put this in here for a while, like weeks ago. I didn't
No,
address it
I'm
then.
correct.
It's completely incorrect. Now you're rumpusing me. It's completely incorrect. Only
No, it's not.
in
It's correct.
you're rumpusing me again. Only in relation to gases and the buoyancy of one gas in relation to another, talking within Newtonian heliocentrism, is that a claim. There is no claim that a preponderance of gas adds to the weight of a non-gaseous object. That's not a claim. They've never told me that ever, and I've asked a lot.
You're wrong.
It's not a
You're
claim.
wrong.
It's not true.
Okay, we heard you,
They don't
Arwin.
claim
Now,
that. You're totally wrong.
Arwin,
They don't
hold on,
claim
Brian.
that. You make
Can I
it
get
up.
just take
Can I-
control
can I hear
before you
Brian
both do
now?
it again? Okay, thank you, Arwin. We heard you. We don't need to reiterate it and summarise it at the end. We heard. Brian, feel free.
Yeah, that's completely wrong. Their claim is gas is pulled down. Gas goes down, goes boom, boom. There's a bigger downward vector to the gas than in any other direction. That's their claim. That's why helium bloom goes up, and that's half of the reason why at high altitudes they claim the objects would weigh less, right? Because half of the reason is not just that they're further away from the center of gravity, but also that there's less downward air pressure, right? The air pressure adds to the weight. Even in reality, air pressure is part of the weight of something, because in a vacuum it weighs less. But they need the air to be pulled down, which would make it weigh more in a vacuum. It doesn't. All their claims, if you look at their gas pressure gradient claim, it's all based on air having weight and all that air being pulled down towards the surface of Earth. And there's a greater downward vector of the air and the air pressure onto an object, giving it more weight. So technically they should weigh less in a vacuum, but it doesn't. Objects weigh more. That's not me pulling it out of That's not me pulling it out of nowhere.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Hello.
Hello.
Citation, please. Citation, please.
Yeah, can I just stop, please? Citation. I've just given you one. Thunderfoot. How good a citation is that? PhD Thunderfoot said that. Can we move on?
Thunderfoot?
Yeah.
Anti-flat earther.
It doesn't matter. You asked for a citation. I've just given you one.
Yeah, within the official narrative.
That is within the official narrative.
Oh, really? Neil deGrasse Tyson says that?
Yeah,
does he?
they all say it. Arwin, can you just step off? Why are you challenging this? You're also challenging
Because
it.
I'm not
Arwin,
agreeing.
you're now
They don't
rumpusing
say
me.
that.
Now rumpusing me. You also, intentionally, I feel, referenced it to Newtonian. I heard you.
Nobody claims this.
You did.
Except maybe Thunderfoot.
Notice there was a short pause, no denial. Yeah, you did. You tied it to 170-year out-of-date Newtonian conceptual gravity. And Brian's not doing that. He's just talking about the current rhetoric. It's easy to reference and cite, but you're still challenging it. But from the basis of Newtonian, which you cleared up and clarified when you were jabbering through Brian. So can we move on?
I'm not jabbering through him. Will you please stop treating me like this?
Oh, God, there we go.
Nathan. Yeah, oh, God. Because I'm not wrong about this. Nobody claims this. Maybe Thunderfoot thinks that
Would you like the citations from me?
It's not an official claim.
Here we go.
That gas must-
Stop, Arwin, stop.
I want a citation, and I
you're
want
being offered
everybody
one,
to
but you just
stop
can't stop
blabbering.
your verbal diarrhea. Being offered one by Adam.
Right, give me a second. I'm just pulling it up. So this is just instant Google search. I can open them up, but first one is Scientific American, where they will claim weight loss at altitude. You can go up to the top. New York Times, body composition and weight change is a difference. Living at higher altitude, that's a slightly different one. Weight loss, reducing weight, they're all there, mate. It's I'm not sure.
Object?
That's their claim, and that's what Brian's saying. It's the opposite. If anything, fundamentally, if you're going to invoke a gas go down, go boom, boom, then the net effect is it should be less.
Yeah,
less
this is
down.
insufficient because in every title you just Google there, guess what? Altitude. What's an altitude? Is that pressure? Or is that literally a position vertically, as I stated at the beginning of this debacle?
Sorry. Say again.
Altitude, not the pressure of gas causing weight.
Altitude is based on pressure.
The distance
Altitude is
towards
based on pressure,
presupposed.
Arwen.
I'm not done
Can't hear
yet.
either of
I'm
you
done
keep
with this
talking like
shit.
that.
You all fucking rumpus
Arwen,
me.
he's answering
Arwen,
you.
Done with
calm
this.
down,
Stop,
mate.
chill
No,
out.
I'm
Carry
not
on.
fucking calming
Arwen,
down.
just calm
Stop
down.
rumpusing me.
Please calm down.
I'm in the middle of an explanation.
Yeah, but
Calm
it's being
down.
corrected
Stop
by
doing it.
Brian, and you're getting
Right.
annoyed as he corrects you.
So say it again, because I missed the point. So just reiterate the point.
Altitude, not gas pressure. Altitude is the factor,
Thank
which
you.
means a position in space.
Okay,
Not
thank you,
the,
thank you,
the
Arwen. Okay,
properties or the
Arwen,
condition of the
Arwen,
matter.
thank you.
Now I'm done.
Thank you.
Yeah, altitude is
okay.
based
I'm
on
trying to gain
air
control.
pressure.
It doesn't mean that somebody else from the sidelines needs to step over me. Yeah, Brian tried to respond to you, and you got extremely angry when he referred to what defines altitude. Do you want to try again, Brian?
Yes, thank you, Nathan. Altitude is defined by air pressure, Arwen. That's how they define altitude.
Right, can we-
Elevation is defined
That's
by
all
sea
we
level.
need. Can we move on now? Thank God.
Okay, I'll look that up to confirm that.
That's all we need. Thank you. Thank you.
It's not just down. The force required to lift a suction cup is always greater than the actual weight of the object.
I just looked it up. You're wrong.
Oh God.
Yeah, God indeed, because you're wrong.
Oh, and everybody's
Let me
claiming that.
present it.
Arwen.
Why?
what does an
Why?
altimeter
We're in the
in
middle
an
of doing a
airplane do?
reaction video.
Because
You want to
you're
present what
wrong,
you've.
and we're in the middle
Can you
of that
stop
debate,
talking,
and you're
please?
all piling on me.
Can you stop
when
talking?
You're, wrong.
You're ruining
And
my
I'm
show,
sick of it.
Arwen. Thank you. Yeah,
Then stop
I
being
don't
wrong.
want to entertain what you've Google searched in the last 25 seconds. Thank you. Can we move on with what we're actually doing rather than your challenge to this based on a Google search you did 35 seconds ago? Can we move on?
Yeah,
Like-
just
like you agreed?
everybody else did towards me, and now I done it, and now you want to move on. Sure, move on. Fine.
Put it in
I
the
was
war
correct,
room.
though.
Put it in the war room, and we can all have a look.
Yeah, this is for the war room or the after show.
The dictionary statement.
Okay, I've got to
Very
clarify
simple.
this now for the audience
Post
because
it
you will
on,
not
it's
shut
fine,
up.
look.
Right, okay. Generally speaking, the Flat Earth debate team do this when we're not on camera. When I'm not, when I have control of them, they're not like this, right? Which is when I'm doing the live show, which is now. But I've obviously lost control of them today. I could feel it, I could sense it in the air when I started. I wasn't going to mention it, but I have to now, right? There's everyone's a little bit on edge. I don't know why it was the
2
same. In the,
minute TikTok video kicked our
Well, maybe it
ass.
has something to do that I got banned and that nobody seems to give a shit.
got banned.
I care.
Yeah, I got a strike for absolutely nothing, and I'm not going to talk about it. Don't want to complain about it, but nobody seems to even notice anything.
Who knew
People
about
don't
that?
give a
Nobody.
shit what I even do.
I do, and I continually suggest that you go and look at the YouTube terms of service, which you say, yeah, I don't care, or know them vaguely. So I've got no sympathy. What do you want me to say?
That has nothing to do with.
It's got everything to
what
do with it.
happened.
That's what it's based
I
on.
got-
A strike
I got
is
a
based
strike for
directly on that.
something that wasn't
I've got
even talked
no
about.
sympathy. I'm in the middle of doing a live show, but you're going to moan about this. No, when I've told you so many times to go and study the YouTube terms of service, you're going to moan about getting a copyright strike. No, I'm not going to tolerate it. No, I've given you the advice. You've ignored it. What do you want? Sympathy? I'm not going to give it you. No.
Didn't ignore it.
If you
So
had
much
read
everybody
them,
get
which you
along.
have not, you'd know what you'd done wrong before you did it, and you wouldn't have done it. I've got no sympathy.
Fuck! I know what they gave me the strike for, and it wasn't even discussed in the entire show, not once. It's
See,
ridiculous.
straight away, I don't believe you because they don't tell you.
You don't believe me?
No, they don't tell
Oh,
you.
okay.
No, they don't tell you.
Yeah. Well, you guess you didn't watch the show then, because then you would know I hadn't talked about it at all.
Sorry, we're
Yeah,
going to
but
take
what-
over
they
this
don't
show.
tell you
with
what
this.
it is, Arwen, is Nathan's point.
Okay.
What
right, okay.
relevance does this
They-
have?
Number
to
one,
what it
Arwen's
is.
number one, right? Arwen's not annoyed with you, Brian, and he doesn't care about this particularly more than he would normally in terms of his attitude. I'm sure he's got. I'm not saying he hasn't got some interest in this topic at hand in regards to gas go down, go boom boom, which is what the actual topic's about. But he's on edge, right? He's pissed off. So it's not directed at you, Brian. Clearly, it's not going to be directed at me either. I'm not going to stand for it. Actually, Arwen, I'm lying. I do have sympathy for you. I feel fucking shit. It's the first time I'm hearing of it. I don't want that for you. You're my friend. Do I want that to happen to you? No. My point, I will rescind, or whatever the word, retract. Yeah? Yeah, I've got a lot of sympathy for you. That's shit. Nobody wants that to happen. On the other hand, we're trying to talk about
Thanks.
this dick on TikTok. Can we stick to the dick on TikTok?
Sure. But
Thank
just for the
you.
record, altitude means height.
Oh, no one's arguing that, mate. Is that what
You
you're
were.
arguing?
That's exactly what you were arguing.
Oh, dude, you're lost.
Yeah.
You need to
No,
take a breath.
I know
Had
what
a
you
bad day.
presented.
Just give him a
I
break.
got it. I
Adam,
looked
give him a
it
break.
up.
He's had a
You
bad
were
day.
wrong, but fine. Let's move on.
Take a breath. Otherwise, people will start showing you up. Yeah. So just take a breath. Don't force us to rebuttal anything because there's no point. It's a pointless argument. There's clearly a miscommunication from what you've just posted. So let's just move on, with the Muppet from TikTok.
Pause this for 5 seconds for the next interruption. And we're in the...
I
There
was
it
about
is.
to say, you want me to interrupt, but chocolate beat me to it.
I'm just going to say there it is. Chocolate beat everyone to it. Right, I think we can actually start again.
Wait
Plus,
a
if you
second. I
take
thought
air
we all
and
got
water
along
or
here.
Fuck's sake. Who was that?
I was just saying. I thought
Just
we
shut
all
up.
got along here.
or oil and water or any two fluids of different density, put them in a container and then drop them, they don't separate.
What's he babbling about? What? How does this prove anything?
Falling.
Hey Nathan, can I make a suggestion?
It's talking about vomit comet neutrality. Like, yeah, if it falls, then
can I
it
make a
doesn't mix
suggestion
up
right quick?
according to density. Ooh.
Yes, you can make a suggestion. Go ahead.
How can we listen to the short TikTok video first? Because every time you
No.
chop it up and talk for 5 minutes, we forget what he even said.
No, we don't.
I don't. Try and keep up. I'm good. It's
Yeah,
just Neil.
But this guy is going to
It's just
invoke
every
Neil.
time I try and play a bit of the clip, somebody starts talking straight through him. Even though I leave pauses and make it really clear that I'm about to play it, Chocolate, Neil, O'Brien, or someone will talk through the beginning of it.
Well, I'm going to say something now before you play it. What this guy is going to invoke is that flat earthers think that when you drop two liquids in the same container of different densities, that they won't mix together. No flat earther ever said that, right? The liquids will mix like gases will mix. Sorry, liquids will mix like gases will mix. But
what's
what
his
will happen
point?
when they come back stationary is they realign themselves to their density.
Sure,
That's
but-
what happens.
Well, what's his point? Right? What's his? He's,
Well, he's
he's
trying to
saying it's a
come up
straw
with a-
man we haven't made a claim for.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
That simple little demonstration proves that there's a force at play pulling the object with the most mass per unit of volume down.
Well, like a cloud. Like a cloud. I
That's
didn't have to.
Newtonian.
Like a cloud. I didn't have to put it into a container. I could just observe it naturally dissipating into the atmosphere around it. I could just watch
This
that with my
guy-
eyes. Go on. Bloody hell.
I'm sorry, this fella's annoying me, Nathan. I'm sorry, this fella's triggering me. He's annoying me because this fella's a complete fraud. He's just said something there that isn't true. Now, I don't know if he knows it's not true or he's just stupid. He just said that basically what he said is he didn't do what I thought he was going to do. He said that the two liquids won't mix even when they're dropped. Like, that's not true. They will mix. Any movement will cause them to mix, but they'll consistently keep on trying to rearrange themselves due to their density or via their density. So they will mix if they're liquids. Put a rock and a piece of wood in there and it won't mix because they're solids. So he doesn't understand the difference between solids, liquids, gases, plasma. He doesn't understand that, or he does understand it and he's BSing everyone. But either way, this fella is a fraud.
He
Don't
also
think it was
said
a good
something
idea.
about a force pulling down.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know if
Checking my
you-
calendar. What year is it?
Yeah, you got here a bit late actually, Chocolate. We actually did cover that. So yeah, it's 100. We've given him the sharp end of our tongues in that regard already. He's 107 years out of date.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
that's correct.
Copy that.
Now, how is that? Well, because putting the object in free fall completely cancels out the acceleration of gravity and
Really? So what if you release a helium balloon? This is like one sentence debunks. It's really easy, but it is a bit tedious.
the force
Where's
of
the
gravity.
acceleration he's talking about? Caused by this gravity. He's talking about gravity. He's not been a force for 107 years. There's no acceleration in Einstein's relativity
He's
caused by a force.
He's got gas going down, go boom boom, hasn't he?
Like everyone else.
But density is a property that always remains. And again, density fails to keep them separate.
What? Density isn't a causal influencer. You can describe displacement based on an object's density within a medium. It's like taken the description of something and oversimplified it to the one word of density, and then ascribed it by strawman ascribed to us as a causal influencer. Like density can't cause. It's like, what are you doing? The qualitative term of density having a causal influence as claimed by flat earthers according to you? What is this? This guy's just stupid.
I think this guy is trying to claim that because the liquids mix, that or something like that, or they don't mix or something, that proves gravity. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, he's in La La Land. He thinks that he's demonstrated this. He's described them not mixing when he drops them. And then says, on the basis of that demonstration. What demonstration? You didn't demonstrate anything, stupid dick. You just said it.
Gravity is the cause.
Gravity hasn't been claimed to be a cause for 107 years. You stupid idiot. Hello? Try to keep up with the current claims of gravity. It's claimed to be an effect, not a cause. You stupid idiot. This guy, why is he babbling? Why is he even on TikTok at all talking this complete shit? You don't know your own claim.
Because that's where, like,
he's on there because
11-year-olds
you
are
are
talking
not,
shit.
Nathan.
Hold on,
Well-
Gene. Go ahead, Chocolate.
I was just gonna say that's the place now where, kids and whoever that can just fog a mirror go to talk shit. It's TikTok. So that's
Yeah.
why.
But if they talk shit that we can actually get our teeth into because it's the right shit to pull apart, i.e. Einsteinian pseudo-Ramonian force-based time bending nonsense, that's what we are here to debunk, right? Because it's been the rhetoric for 107 years. Go on, Gene.
He is there with many views, more than we get live views daily. Right after the show ends, he gets there. He has 700 live viewers, spilling this bullshit, talking to flat earthers, the ones that think about the disc and all that floating in space. And he's there because you are not, Nathan. That's simply the truth, because you are not there.
I am there. I'm there now. I'm doing it. We're doing it. We're responding to him. You saying, I know what your vibe is. You're like, get on TikTok. Well, that's not going to mean this guy's not there. And he's not there because I'm not there. That's nonsense. But we are responding to him.
Of objects sorting themselves out by density. So I thought we would debunk a flat earth talking point that is used to combat the traditional narrative of how literal...
Right, how is this a flat earth talking point? We haven't got any claims in this regard. We can detail relative density disequilibrium. We can even validate a disequilibrium effect that you can observe in nature with science. But there is no necessity for us to make a claim in this regard. You have a claim. Your claim is 9.8 meters per second squared downward bias. Or gas go down, go boom, boom. Yeah, it's stupid. You don't understand your own claim. You're using Newtonian forces of gravity that are 107 years out of date. So if you are watching this guy and you're on TikTok and you think he's good, he's a thick moron who doesn't understand his own global claim. So, as for us giving this guy the time of day, you feel privileged, dickhead, because you're not worth our time. You don't even understand the claim. So, we're typically dealing with people like Tyson, who can actually disseminate the claim in such a way that they can get a little bit of admiration from us. Maybe even a little bit of respect for the quality of wizardry. You are just a shithead. I don't even know why I'm responding to you, because you don't know your own claim. I'm having to correct you on your own claim before I debunk it. That is to say, forces of gravity? No. Bending pseudo-Ramonian force space-time geodesics bending? You stupid idiot. Why am I, the flat earther, having to tell you about your glow claim? It's an outrage. If people are giving you respect, they shouldn't be. These 2,522 hearts that people are giving you, They're thicker than you are because you don't understand the actual globe claim. I'm a flat earther and having to tell you what it is. It's absurd.
Literally everything on planet Earth works.
1 second, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that this guy is denying, even though his audience won't realize it because they don't have a clue they don't have a clue what he's talking about, and he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. He's denying special and general relativity. He's denying the two-way speed of light calculation, and he's denying Einstein's equivalence principle, and he's also denying specific gravity. He's denying all those things because specific gravity is based on the medium.
I would wager, I'd wager £1, Brian, that if you listed off that list to him, out of those, 5 things, he probably wouldn't know what one of them was.
Well, he sounds very like Professor Dave to me, Nathan. I just said I'd throw that out there. He does sound like Professor Dave. He sounded like someone I know, and Professor Dave is the closest to it. Is that Professor Dave secretly on TikTok?
I think it is. I think it's the same person. They're both played by Will Smith, so.
So when you ask them, why do things fall down?
I like pointing up at a cloud when people ask me that. Like I'm somehow making a claim about it and need to justify why things are falling to the ground when gas is created at the ground level and makes its way up. You know, stupid shit like this coming from idiots who don't understand their own rhetoric and assert 107-year out-of-date Newtonian gravitational forces are just idiots that would be asking why things go down when there's no force pulling anything down. That's debunked by gas behavior, you stupid muppet.
Their answer is...
Go on.
I was just gonna say it's terribly dishonest for these people to say things like, why do things fall down, while not actually accepting that there are things that don't do that. So it would be honest if you would say, why does this fall down while something else floats and something else over there actually just goes up? But it's just, why do they do that? And I know it's like this supposedly like a rebuttal to flat earthers that's supposed to get us, right? Oh, things go down, therefore gravity. But you're ignoring that not everything goes down, because if you ask me why do things go down while I'm holding a helium balloon, you're gonna have a problem, and I'm just gonna look at you like you're crazy. So
okay, whoever it was, just wait 1 second. If it was Eugene, just 1 sec. In case you hadn't picked up on it, what Chocolate just did was detailed a dependent variable. That would be a naturally occurring phenomena. Some things go down, some things go up, some things remain neutral. That would be something that happens in nature that you can ask, I wonder why that happens. So that's the definition of the phenomena in this instance that Chocolate's just summarized. Go ahead, Gene. Kudos, by the way, Chocolate.
This guy, Planet Peterson, will go live shortly after we are through. He will have more than 500 live viewers
told us.
Giving him super chats.
You told us.
For more than 4 hours today.
We heard.
And this
we heard.
light a fire
We heard.
in us.
We heard. I heard this is the second time. Is there a point behind this? There wasn't the first time. Is there a point to this? We've said it twice.
Yes, get on TikTok.
Why? Why would you assume that me being on TikTok's going to suddenly mean that I outperform this guy?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe money, maybe views.
Brother, is it that you want us to like chase this guy down? Like, is that what you want us to do? Hello? Am I still here?
You are, yeah.
That's
You've
lovely.
had, what's
I
your
had a
motivation?
question
Gene?
for
Is
you,
your
Tice.
question.
What's up?
If the question is, what's your motivation, but with the emphasis on, do you want to take this guy down?
I look at both sides of the argument. I see that you are the clear winner, Nathan. You have evidence, and it befuddles me why you put up with YouTube's whatever it is, blacklisting, algorithmically fucked, and you will not go to TikTok, where it's an evergreen subject. Everyone gets millions of views there, and it just befuddles me why you're not there. That's all.
Oh, who was that? Go ahead. We're going to cover this bit more. We're already 5 minutes over the typical live amount of time that I would like to spend on stuff. But if you happen to carry on with this, we're only, what, a few seconds into a 3-minute video.
Density.
Oh.
The only way to make an object move is...
Did it just repeat? You just go around in circles? What's going on?
To apply a force to it. The only possible way you can...
Did I accidentally skip back? I don't know what's happened.
How TikTok works.
TikTok is like that. Once that video is done, it just plays again.
Okay, so yeah,
about
we're
to
back to
say-
the beginning. So did we cover it all?
I was about to say. Sorry.
If we went to the beginning, you covered it all already, Nathan.
Jolly good.
I would like to point out something there when he's talking about a force causing a mass to accelerate. That's been debunked as well.
Any other comments?
I have a comment. I had a great Neil deGrasse Tyson video that we could have torn apart, him speaking to Joe Rogan, which millions of people watch. But, we chose the little low-hanging fruit guy.
You're getting the jab, Gene.
Nobody's checking
left
for
it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Nobody's checking for him. That video is old as hell.
I left the comment in Master D.
Okay. It's just...
TikTok's where people go to melt their brains because it's dumb as shit. So Planet Peterson's in the right place.
Look, I'm not going to
deny
the guy's point, right?
I get the sentiment that this guy, what's his name, Gene? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Gene.
I get his sentiment, right? Like you turn on TikTok and you hear something like this, what this guy's saying, and it kind of bugs you out because you're like, there's these guys over here that can destroy that, and I get that, but there are lots of people on TikTok, and it's making it seem like, so if we go after this guy, do we have to go after the next guy? Like, like, and then the next one after that, or just do what we're doing, which is rebut to him. Like, you brought this video to us, we're rebutting to it, and just leave it at that. And whatever happens may happen, but going to chase down every TikToker, every 12-year-old or 13-year-old who thinks they did a Google search real quick and heard flat Earth was a thing, But I don't
think we should
see
chase
that as a
anyone
really-
down. I think you just plant your flag right there on TikTok. Say you are here.
Okay. I get that, but without going through the general, most recently someone wanted me to plant my flag somewhere else, a different video hosting site. Fine, so I did. Have I suddenly set the world alight on that site? No. Now, if I dedicated huge chunks of my life I haven't got to it, I'm sure I could probably make it do a bit better. But TikTok's no different. This guy, who we're covering now, might be the latest hot shit on TikTok. But he's built up an audience, and more power to him. If he's making revenue for it, oh, great, mate. I wish I was doing the same if TikTok's the current hotness. But I haven't built an audience there. And it isn't the go-to place for videos, I assure you. TikTok is new. And that might be great for the new adult generation to go and find their 2-minute videos. And maybe they've expanded that out to try and actually compete with YouTube. But as far as I'm concerned, in spite of all of the censorship, if you want to call it that, or promotion of others above me, it wouldn't matter what subject I was in. I'd still have that attitude to a certain extent, because there's always someone who's outperforming you, regardless of how much better or worse than you they are. So I can look at YouTube and go, oh, right, I might be grass is greener better on the other side of TikTok. But before I look at those things, I generally have a really good look at what I can find out about the performance of those particular websites. And I keep telling you, I've done that with TikTok. And as yet, I don't think I've got the time to do it, to suddenly make my mark on TikTok. Now, it might come to the point where, especially with the way the viewing figures are going at the moment on YouTube, I might have no option. But at the moment, I haven't got the time to dedicate to it. Now, if that means that, well, you've got to sacrifice time doing other things to do that, then that's a major deal. So you're just like, go and make your mark on TikTok. All right, I'll just fish a 6-hour period out of my ass in the week to do that. I can't do that. So it means making sacrifices in other areas.
Yeah, you don't have to actually make go live on any of these other platforms. You can just have short videos and share them to these platforms. And there's apps that are made for that, like something called like Hootsuite, where you just post one click, you post to all platforms, things like that. Just an idea.
Fair enough. Right, we'll discuss it more in the after show, I'm sure. But with that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. Another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. And yeah, stay tuned if you're watching on after show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!